At this moment, as she looked forward, her teammates had already danced their way to reclaim the puck, confidently passing it to her feet as if to say, "All right, no longer alone." She teams up, playing seriously with mates like a non-ice party. 4K hit. 4 strike, haha. This match was like a Survivor episode, and Valery had transformed from a tadpole into a prince. When elite individual skills meet great teamwork, it unleashes volcanic energy. In the following matches, the trio made up of Valery and his 2 teammates became an unbeatable hero league. The Moscow Central Army hockey team soared to the Super League, snagging the national championship, and many key players unexpectedly made it to the Soviet national team, with coach Tarasov happily taking the helm. Under his leadership, the Soviet Union clinched the championship at the 1971 World Ice Hockey Championship, though sadly, the world-class strongman Canadians were bummed out, thinking, when will we see a showdown of titans? After the match, Valery cashed in like a crystal ball, getting a luxurious apartment and a shiny new car, plus he won the heart of his crush. In a sweet romance, the Soviet star athlete received an olive branch from the Canadian Hockey Association at the party. Faced with a $1 million salary offer, Valery smiled and declined. "I always wanted to play with those Canadian guys. I want to win with my team, and I am not joking about that. See, Canada has no chance, but I'll give it a shot." Subtitles. Fans were engaged in a heated debate. Our national ice hockey team is the true world number 1. The reason this Canadian VIP was in town was to discuss the 1972 Hockey Super Cup. Soon, the Soviet national team would take on Canada at the Montreal Stadium to see who the real champions are. Ending Canada's unbeaten myth in hockey became the shared desire of all Soviet fans and the lifelong dream of coach Tarasov. He knew his players lacked physical edge, needing finesse and speed to win. To this end, Tarasov decisively restructured the national team, selecting a new batch of future stars focused on speed and skill. But with everyone coming from different clubs, there were bound to be a few bumps along the way, turning the locker room into a lively debate club. To prevent any issues and make them realize the team is one unit, Tarasov ordered everyone to run counterclockwise around the rink, resulting in everyone tripping over each other and running obliviously. It was not until Valery shouted loudly among the crowd, "We must unite," that the coach nodded in satisfaction and brought the training session to an end. A single flower doesn't make spring. A lone goose can't form a flock. Teamwork needs unity first. After this training, the team cohesion skyrocketed and their synergy improved day by day. After that, they delved into non-stop running drills, seemingly without an end in sight. In the 1972 Sapporo Winter Olympics, with Canada absent, the newly formed Soviet national team cruised to victory. However, afterward, that Hockey Association official showed up at Valery's door. He asked Valery to write a report on coach Tarasov supposedly burying players, but by this time, Valery was back in Tarasov's good graces. Understanding the coach's previous intentions, Valery swiftly declined. The other party threatened him, seeking to tarnish Tarasov's reputation. The reason was that, years ago, Tarasov had expelled the highly ambitious son of this official from the team, and as a result, this official had been constantly seeking an opportunity for revenge. Though Valery was unaware of the grudge, he knew he absolutely couldn't betray his coach. Even facing the risk of retaliation, he chose to stand by his principles. Valery thought as long as he stayed righteous, everything would be fine, but he underestimated the other party's tactics. Days later, the national team was unexpectedly set to play a friendly with second-place Spartak. Everyone thought it'd be easy, but soon after start, Gushkov was fouled. The ref didn't penalize but delayed the match. The referee just sent Gushkov off, forcing coach Tarasov to reluctantly bring in the star offensive trio. With their seamless play, Spartak's goal was breached in an instant, but that crooked referee called off Valery's goal for offside. Times Earl commentators bluntly said the officiating was bizarre, and Tarasov raged fiercely. He cursed the referee a crooked bastard. The assistant coach urged calmness, noting high officials' presence to avoid harming the team's image. However, for Tarasov, the integrity of the game came above all else. This is not just another game. Tarasov called back all his players, vowing they wouldn't step onto the ice unless the referee was changed. No amount of high-ranking officials would sway his stance on the integrity of the match. Ultimately, Tarasov's staunch attitude caused this dramatic match to come to an abrupt halt. This made Tarasov the center of criticism overnight, with many fans pointing fingers at him. At that moment, the Hockey Association official wore a satisfied smile, as if everything was under his control. Enlightened, Valery recognized the seriousness of the situation and decided to confront the official, but the torrential rain tested his judgment on the way. As a consequence, Valery was involved in an accident during his return journey and was promptly sent to the top hospital in Moscow for treatment. Doctors diagnosed a comminuted fracture in his right leg, needing at least 6 months to heal. Upon hearing the news, his teammates rushed to find the best craftsmen in Moscow to create the world's most advanced rehab equipment to help Valery recover quickly.